Hello everybody and a very good morning. I, Keyur Maradia, welcome you to the YouTube channel of Excellence Classes once again. Today's topic of discussion is probability, which will be helpful for class 10 students of ICSC and CBSE. Probability. What is probability? Probability is basically, we can say, nothing but a chance. Probability is nothing but a chance, you can see. It is expressed in terms of fractions. So always remember that the final answer that you get of a probability sum should always be in terms of fractions. Now to keep the formula in mind, I have framed a simple formula which you need to keep in mind. The formula is what we want upon total. So probability to find any answer, we can simply use a formula what we want upon total, and the formula that has to be used, or the formula that you are supposed to write, is number of possible outcomes upon total number of outcomes. This formula has to be written while solving the sums, whereas to keep it in mind, you can just simply say what we want upon total. Let us try and understand it in a better way while solving few examples. So the first example that I here consider is two coins are tossed simultaneously. Describe the sample space and find the probability of getting the following. Okay, so here we need to understand what is sample space first. Sample space is nothing but the total possible outcomes that are present. Sample space is nothing but the total possible outcomes that are present. So in this case, sample space when two coins are tossed can be HH, that is both the coins will show head, then it can be both the coins showing tail, then the other possibility is first is showing tail, second is showing head, and last is first showing head and second showing tail. This is the sample space that will be there for two coins tossed simultaneously. So let us find the number of elements in sample space. N of S is called as number of elements in the sample space. It is 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the number of elements in the sample space are 4. So your N of S is 4. Now first they have asked you to find two heads. So here in the first case we are supposed to find the probability of getting two heads. So now what I'll consider is, let A be the event of getting two heads. Therefore I can say A is equal to, now from the sample space, what is the possibility of me getting two heads is HH. So A is equal to HH, and number of elements in my A, event A, is equal to 1. Therefore probability of A is equal to N of A upon N of S, where N of A is number of possible outcomes and N of S is total number of outcomes. So it is going to be 1 upon 4. Your B part was to find at least one head. It was at least one head. Whenever the word at least is coming, you keep in mind it is minimum. You keep in mind the word minimum. So at least one head means you are supposed to find minimum one head. You are supposed to find minimum one head. So let P be the event of getting at least one head. Let B be the event of getting at least one head. Therefore the event B is going to be at least one head is possible, where it is possible in H, H, T, H and H, T. So N of B is going to be 3. Therefore probability of getting at least one head is equal to n of b upon n of s. N of b is 3, n of s is 4. In the part C, they have asked you to find at most one head. At most one head. At most means you keep in mind the word maximum. So in your event there should be maximum one head. So let me consider here, let C be the event of getting at most one head. Therefore C is equal to TT, HT and TH. Maximum one head should be there in your event. Therefore N of C is again equal to 3. Therefore P of at most, that is probability of at most one head, is equal to N of C upon N of S in this case, which is again equal to 3 upon 4. In the next question they have asked you to find getting exactly one head. So let D be the event of getting exactly one head. Therefore event D, exactly one head, is what? Exactly there should be only one head. So it is going to be TH and HT. N of D turns out to be 2. Therefore probability of getting exactly one head is equal to N of D upon N of S, which is equal to 2 upon 4. You are supposed to simplify this, so what I get is 1 upon 2. Next, for your E part, they have asked you no head. So let E be the event of getting no head. Therefore the event E is going to be no head, means both the coins are showing tail. Therefore N of E is equal to 1 and probability of no head is equal to N of E upon N of S, which is going to be 1 upon 4. In the next example, 3 coins are tossed simultaneously and they are asking us to describe the sample space, also find the probability of getting at most 2 heads, at least 2 heads and exactly 2 heads. So let us describe the sample space first. So here in this case my sample space is going to be H, 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 T, H, T, H, H, T, T. Then all the 3 coins tails, first tail, second head, third tail. Then I can say first and second tail, third one is giving me head. Then first is giving me tail, second and third are giving me heads. So this can be my sample space. So let us find the number of elements in the sample space, that is N of S is equal to 8. Now in the first case they are asking you to find at most 2 heads. At most 2 heads is nothing but you can say maximum of 2 heads in my sample space. So let us consider an event. Let E1 be the event of getting at most 2 heads. Therefore the event is going to be E1 is equal to, now from the sample space, if I want at most or maximum of 2 heads, then we can clearly see that only this first part, that is all the 3 coins showing head, will not be included, rest all is going to be included. So here in this case it turns out to be HHT, HTT, all the 3 showing tails, that is TTT, then THT, TTH, and lastly tails and both the showing head. Therefore my n of E1 is going to be 7. Therefore probability of at most 2 heads is equal to n of E1 upon n of S, which is equal to 7 upon 8. Now in the next question they have asked you to find at least 2 heads. At least 2 heads is there should be minimum of 2 heads. So I'll consider an event E2 be the event of getting at least 2 heads. Let E2 be the event of getting at least 2 heads. So here the event E2 is going to be, if I want at least 2 heads, all the 3 coins showing head is going to be included. Next, first 2 coins showing head and the third one showing tail. Then first showing tail, second and third showing head is going to be included, and first showing head, second tail and third showing head is going to be included. So these are the possible number of cases which are for at least 2 heads. So n of E2 is going to be 4. Therefore probability of getting at least 2 heads is going to be n of E2 upon n of S, which is equal to 4 by 8, which gives me 1 upon 2. The next case is getting exactly 2 heads. So let me consider again an event. Let E3 be the event of getting exactly 2 heads. So that event is going to be E3 is equal to, now I want exactly 2 heads. So what are the possible outcomes? First 2 showing head, second is tail, then first and the last showing head, middle one is tail, then first showing tail and the other 2 showing head. So these are the possible outcomes that may be present. So n of E3 is equal to 3. So P of getting exactly 2 heads is equal to n of E3 upon n of S, which is equal to 3 upon 8. Now the next example that we are considering is related to dice. So in this case 2 dice are thrown simultaneously and they are asking us to find the probability of the following cases. So first thing that we will be doing here is writing the sample space for 2 dice. So the sample space is going to be a huge one. Okay, so let us get it understood. It is going to be 1 1. First die is, I'll keep constant 1 and I'll go on changing the numbers of the second die. 1 4 1 5 1 6. Now pay attention. So 2 1 2 2 2 4 2 5 and 2 6. Then the first die will show 3 1. I can say 4 1 5 1 6 1. Similarly 3 2 3 3 3 4 3 5 and 3 6. 4 2 4 3 4 4 4 5 4 6. Then I can say 5 2 5 3 5 4 5 5 and 5 6. 6 2 6 3 6 4 6 5 and last is 6 comma 6. So this is going to be my sample space whenever two dice are thrown. So n of s, number of elements in my sample space, is, if you see, it is going to be 36. In the first case they are asking us to find the probability of getting 10 as the sum of two numbers that turn up. Okay, so I'll consider an event. Let A be the event of getting 10 as the sum of two numbers. So here in this case we are supposed to find an event A such that the two numbers on the dice give me a sum of 10. Two numbers on the dice give me a sum of 10. So this is possible only for, say, 6 4. I can say 5 and 5 is going to give me 10, and the other is, I can say, 4 comma 6. So these are the possibilities for the event. Therefore n of A is equal to 3, and probability of event A, I will say, is going to be n of A upon n of S, which is equal to 3 upon 36. So it is 1 upon 12. It is going to be 1 upon 12. Next, in the next question they are asking us a doublet of even numbers. A doublet of even numbers. So let B be the event of getting a doublet of even numbers. So the event B is going to be, I want a doublet and the number should be even. So it is 2 comma 2. Then I can say 4 comma 4 and 6 comma 6. So here again in this case I am getting n of B is equal to 3. Therefore probability of event B, that is getting a doublet of even numbers, is going to be n of B upon n of S, which is 3 by 36. Again what I get is 1 upon 12. In the next question they have asked us to find the probability of getting a total of at least 10. So whatever are the numbers on the two dice or on the two dice that turn up, the total of those two should be at least 10. So let us consider again an event. Let C be the event of getting at least 10. Let's see with the event of getting a total of at least 10. Therefore, the event C is going to turn out to be, I can say 4 and 6, which gives me an addition of 10. Next is 5, 5. Then I can consider even 5, 6, which gives me an addition of 11. And we want at least 10, the total to be at least 10. Next, what I can consider is 6, 4, 6, 5 and 6, 6. This is going to be my event. Therefore, n of C, that is number of elements in event C, is going to be 6. Therefore, probability of event C is going to be n of C upon n of S, which is equal to 6 upon 36, 1 upon 6. In the D part, they have asked us a multiple of 3 as the sum of two numbers that turn up. So the sum of two numbers that are turning up should be a multiple of 3. So let D be the event of multiple of 3 as the sum of two numbers that turn up. So my event D is going to be 1, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 2, 4. The sum of two numbers is a multiple of 3. If you go on checking this, 3, 3, 3, 6. Next what I can have is 4, 2, then 4, 5, 5, 1, 5, 4, 6, 3 and 6, 6. So n of D is going to be 12 in this case. Therefore, P of D is equal to n of D upon n of S, 12 by 36, which is 1 upon 3. The next sum, a box of 160 electric bulb contains 12 defective bulbs. One bulb is taken out at random from the box. What is the probability that the bulb drawn is defective? And in the second case, they are asking us to find the probability of a non-defective bulb. A very easy example. So here in this case, the sample space n of S is given to be 160. N of S is 160. Number of defective bulbs is 12. Therefore, I can say number of defective bulbs is given to be 12. So, number of non-defective bulbs is going to be 160 minus 12, which is 148. Therefore, first case, probability of defective bulbs will be 12 upon 160. If you simplify this, you will get 3 upon 40. Now, the next case, probability of non-defective bulbs is going to be 148 upon 160. On further simplifying, you are going to get 37 by 40. In the next sum, they have given us a box containing 15 balls bearing numbers 1 to 15 respectively. A ball is drawn at random from the box. Find the probability that the number on the ball is an even number. If we consider the first sub question, we are supposed to find a ball which has an even number on it. So let us consider an event. Let A be the event of getting an even number. Therefore, the event A is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14. N of A will be 7. N of A will be 7, and N of S is already given to us. N of S that has been already given to us is 15. The total number of balls are 15. So N of S is given 15. Therefore, P of A, that is probability of getting an even number, will be N of A upon N of S, which is equal to 7 upon 15. This will be the first answer. In the second sub question, they have asked us to find a number divisible by 5. So let us again consider an event. Let B be the event of getting a number divisible by 5. Therefore, N of or event B is going to be 5, 10 and 15. Therefore, number of elements in B will be 3. Similarly, P of B will be N of B upon N of S, 3 by 15. So it is 1 by 5. Next, if we consider C, we want a number 6. So let C be the event of getting a number 6. So C will be only one number, that is 6. N of C will be 1. Therefore, P of C will be N of C upon N of S, which is equal to 1 upon 50. The fourth sub question, they have told us to find a number lying between 8 and 12. So let me consider an event. Let D be the event of getting number between 8 and 12. So that event D is going to be 9, 10 and 11. So N of D will be 3. P of D will be N of D, which will be equal to 3 by 15. So it is 1 upon 5. In the next sub question E, they have asked us to find the number greater than 9. So let E be the event of getting a number greater than 9. Therefore, the event E is going to be 10, 11, 12 up to 15. So N of E will be 6 and P of E will be N of E upon N of S, which is 6 by 15 equal to 2 by 5. In the next sub question, they have asked you to find number less than 6. Let F be the event of getting a number less than 6. So the event F is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. N of F will be 5. So P of F is going to be N of F upon N of S, which is equal to 5 upon 15, 1 by 3. In the next question, a bag contains 8 red, 4 white and 3 black balls. So let us find the sample space first. So N of S, that is your sample space, will be 4 plus 8 plus 3, which is equal to 15 balls in total. And they are asking you to find the probability that a ball which is drawn at random is white. So in the first case, they are asking you to find the probability of getting a white ball. Okay, so now we'll do it directly. Probability of getting white ball will be equal to, now number of white balls are 4 and total number of balls are 15. So probability of getting a white ball is going to be 4 upon 15. In the next question, they are asking you to find probability of red or white ball. The ball can either be red or white. So we need to consider both the balls, that is red and white. So 8 and 4, 8 plus 4 upon 15, which gives me 12 upon 15. On simplifying it, I am going to get 4 upon 5. In the next question, they are asking you to find probability of getting neither red nor white. We do not want red ball, neither we want white ball. That means only remaining is a black ball. So it is going to be 3 upon 15, which gives me 1 upon 5. And in the fourth sub question, we want a ball which is not red. So probability of getting, or you can say probability of not getting a red ball. We do not want a red ball, so white ball and black ball are accepted. So it is going to be 4 plus 3 by 15, which gives me 7 upon 15. Now the next example that we can see here is related to cards. Let us just read the question. One card is drawn at random from a well shuffled deck of 52 cards. Find the probability of drawing an ace, a 5 of red suit, a black queen, a jack of spades, a 10 of hearts and a face card. This is the question that has been given. So now as it is related to cards, now let us first get few things understood relating to your cards or 52 cards that are present. Okay, now see here, if you just see here, there are total 52 cards which are of 4 different types. Okay, which are of 4 different types: spades, clubs, these are both related to black suit, diamonds and heart, these two are related to your red suit. So there are 13 cards of spades, 13 cards of clubs, 13 of diamond and 13 of heart each. Now if we see one category, that is spades, it has one king, one queen, one jack. Now all these three collectively are called as your face cards. That means one king, one queen and one jack is called as a face card. Then there are numbers from 2 to 10 and we have one card of ace. We have one ace card. So that is again similar for clubs, diamonds and hearts. That is all the 4, that is spades, clubs, diamonds and hearts. Each one will be having one king, one queen, one jack, numbers 2 to 10 and one ace. Now these two, that is spades and clubs, are collectively called as your black suits, whereas diamond and heart are collectively called as your red suits. Now let us get back to the question that we need to solve. So here first what they have asked us to find an ace. So let us consider an event. Let E1 be the event of getting an ace. Okay, now if you just see here again, ace is one of spade, one of club, one of diamond and one of heart. So totally we are having here 4 ace in a pack of well shuffled cards. Okay, therefore probability of the event E1 is going to be 4 upon 52. My sample space n of s is going to be 52 as there are total 52 cards in the pack. So if you reduce this, it gives you 1 upon 13. It gives you 1 upon 13. Now let us see the second question. Let us consider an event. Let E2 be the event of getting 5 of red suit. We want a 5 of red suit. Now here if we see, there are 2 red suits. Okay, so a number 5 will also be present here as well as it is going to be present in the hearts. So 1 5 will be in, 1 5 of red will be in diamonds and 1 5 of red will be in heart as well. So the number of 5s in the red suit is going to be 2. Therefore probability of event E2 is going to be 2 by 52, which is equal to 1 upon 26. If we see the third question, they have asked you a black queen. They have asked you a black queen. So let E3 be the event of getting black queen. E3 be the event of getting a black queen. Therefore P of E3 is equal to, now as we saw in case of 5 in a red suit, similarly a queen of black will be 2. One will be of spade and one will be of clubs. So it is going to be again 2 upon 52, which is equal to 1 upon 26. The fourth question, they have asked you to find a jack of spades. So let E4 be the event of getting a jack of spades. Therefore P of E4. Now jack of spades is only going to be 1, as there is, if you see here, there is only one jack in spades. So jack of spades is going to be 1. So hence probability of getting a jack of spades is going to be 1 upon 52. Fifth question, a 10 of hearts. So let E5 be the event of getting a 10 of heart. Therefore P of E5, now in hearts there is only going to be 110, so again it is going to be 1 upon 52. The last sub question, a face card. So let E6 be the event of getting a face card. Now if you see this event E6, they are asking you the probability of finding a face card. Now if we see, there are 3 face cards in spades, 3 face cards in club, 3 in diamond and 3 in heart. So in all there are 12 face cards. So it is going to be 12 upon 52, or further simplification you will get 3 by 30. Next question, a very simple one. If the probability of winning a game is 0.6, what is the probability of losing a game? Now here you just get this understood. Always probability of an event happening, probability of event happening plus probability of event not happening will always come to 1. So probability of an event happening plus probability of an event not happening is equal to 1. So in this case, probability of winning a game is 0.6. Therefore probability of not winning a game will be equal to 1 minus 0.6, which is equal to 0.4. Now the sum that you are seeing on the screen is the last sum of this video on the chapter probability, which is for you to solve, and after solving you can leave your answers in the comments box below. I hope that everyone you have understood this chapter very clearly and there is no doubt in your mind to solve the sums related to probability.